So getting to $10,000 a month with your online business is actually much easier than you might think in 2025. And I'm gonna break that down exactly why that is. I'm gonna give you real, like tangible numbers, and I'm just gonna break it down. I'm not gonna be sitting here telling you just gotta work harder, you just gotta think about things the right way. I'm actually gonna be breaking this down with solid numbers so that you can see logically how the math works in your favor if your goal is to build an online business that gets you to $10,000 per month in 2025. So I actually wanted to hop inside my payment processor. This is Stripe, what I use to collect payments for my business. And I wanted to share this because it's obviously you don't know who I am, and it's very easy for anyone to say, "Oh, I went from zero to $1 million in 30 days," right? And I understand that, which is why I'm sharing my payment processor here at Stripe. As you can see, I started my business, my lead generation agency, in September 2022. That's what the date is set for. And within my first, by December, so around 60-ish, 90-ish days later, I was at $10,000 in a single month. I made $10,502 in a single month, right? Obviously, I incurred some fees to process my, my money, and I netted 10.1K. And I'm actually going to change this a little bit. Actually, I'm going to change it here. It's easier. Right? You can see these graphs. I'm scrolling through it. This is just real, right? I'll change the dates too. Change it to September 1st. I don't know if that did anything. I'll change it to October 5th. 2022, right? From October 1st to December, I made $10,000, right? And again, right, I started my business in my third month as at $10,000 in a month. So I know exactly what it takes, and that's what I'll be sharing in today's video. So I first want to recap, how do you actually make money online? And I'm just going to share the business model that I'm in, that I teach, because obviously there's a bunch of different business models out there. There's SMMA, there's dropshipping, there's all of these random things. But for what I do, I run something called a lead generation agency, and here's how that works, right? So the largest problem that B2B businesses, so businesses that sell to other businesses, so not B2C, so not businesses that sell like e-com brands or realtors or stuff like that, the largest problems that a B2B business has is booking sales calls, right? And in extension of that, getting new customers for their business. And this is a massive problem. And as a result, these businesses who are struggling to book sales calls and struggling to get new customers, they are actually actively losing money, right? Through opportunity costs, right? If they knew how they could bring in $100,000 worth of new customers every single month, by not knowing how to do that, it's costing them $100,000 every single month. So as a result, business owners know this, and they're happy to pay people thousands of dollars to really anyone who can help them figure this out, to anyone who can help them book sales calls. So what you're doing as a lead generation agency is you're helping these businesses book sales calls entirely by using cold emails. That's primarily what I use. I use cold emails. I'm cold emailing people, and I see if they're interested in what my client has to sell, what I have to sell. And if they're interested, I'm booking a sales call, which at that point, we hop on that sales call, we have that conversation, ask some quality questions, and if there's a right fit, we go for the close, and after they close, we send them the invoice, and that's where we get paid. So what you're doing with a lead generation agency is you're first using cold emails to book sales calls and land clients for yourself. So you're really using this as a way to get proof of concept that this works for yourself first, because if you're able to sign a client using cold emails, it clearly works, right? And you can actually leverage that fact to sell clients. So my very first client, they were a recruitment agency, and I remember on that sales call, they paid me $3,000. And the way I sold to them, because they asked me, "Hey Jimmy, do you have any case studies?" And obviously I didn't, because it was my very first client. And the way I sold my very first client was basically by saying, "Well, to be honest, I don't have any case studies, but what we're doing is we're using cold emails to book sales calls for your business." That's exactly what we did for our business. If you think about it, we reached out to you over cold emails around a week ago. You were interested. We sent you some videos, some resources. You were interested in that, and we set up this call, and here we are on this Zoom call right now and deciding if this is a good fit for either of us. I literally said that, and it closed, right? Because I have proof of concept that this works. I'm not basically just saying use this experimental process that may or may not work. I have no proof and I have no clue if it works or not. I'm able to say I did this for my business. I generated 30 sales calls using cold emails, and we're basically replicating this entire process inside of your business to help you get these 30 sales calls, and as a result, help you, sign clients and make money. So that's basically why this business model as a lead generation agency, why it works extremely, extremely well. And in terms of how much money you can actually make for every single client that you sign, there's two parts. The first is what's called an upfront setup fee. So you're collecting cash upfront, and usually you're able to sell that between $1,500 and $3,000. And the biggest differentiating factor between someone who's selling it for $3,000 and someone who's selling for $1,500 is honestly just the confidence to say a larger number and be able to justify that with an ROI on the sales call. And after you get that upfront setup fee, which is going to be a few $1,000s cash upfront right now, it's going to be a fee for every single sales call that you book. So usually that's between $200 and $300. Almost all of my clients, I sell it for $250 per cost per book call. And on average, I'm able to pretty easily book somewhere between 5 and 20 sales calls every single month. So you could go and do the math with how much money I'm making. But for every single client, I'm usually able to make somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 every single month for just based on booking sales calls for their business, right? So every single client is paying me somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000 a month, right? And obviously some of that is upfront and some of that comes when you're booking sales calls. So that's kind of how the business works fundamentally. I first wanted to kind of just do a brief little recap. So here are the 5 steps to actually get to $10,000 per month. There's really only 5 steps. The first step is finding a problem that other businesses are facing and then providing the solution and selling that to businesses. And we take care of that by selling lead generation as a service. Again, businesses have a massive problem booking sales calls, and we're helping them as a solution book sales calls for their business. So that's step 1, which is your offer, selling something that people actually want, right? Pretty simple stuff. The second step is understanding who you are selling to. So more specifically, the industry or the niche that you're selling to. You have to understand, do they have the money to actually pay you if you're charging $3,000 a month? Are they making enough money to actually afford paying $3,000 a month? Because a lot of businesses, if they're selling the products or services for like $50, and this is why we don't do B2C, because if they're selling the products or services for $50 or $100, they simply aren't making enough money from one single customer to be paying you $250 for every sales call that you generate for them, because the economics just don't make sense. That's the first question. And the second question is, do they need your help? Because some businesses actually don't need your help. Maybe they have a full-blown sales team, all of this other stuff, and they might not need your help. But you want to understand, do they have money and do they need your services? Can they book sales calls by using cold emails? And that's your niche, right? The specific group of people that you're selling to. Again, my very first client was a recruitment agency. The first 4 or 5 clients that I ever worked with, it was because I was targeting and working with recruitment agencies. Today, I work with more on marketing agencies and SaaS companies. That's kind of my niche. But you want to pick one niche and be very relevant. You don't want to be working with multiple niches at the same time. At least you don't need to get to $10,000 per month. Because if you do work with multiple niches, you're just working way harder than you need to, and you're probably going to get worse results. The third step after you pick a niche is understanding, how do you get people's attention? How do you get eyeballs? How do you get as many eyeballs as humanly possible onto your business, onto who you are, and onto what you do, right? And we're using cold emails to do that, right? Because all cold emails does is you're emailing a bunch of people. A portion of those people will be interested in hearing more about what you're doing. They're interested in learning more, literally, right? That's attention that you're creating by cold emailing 1,000 people a day, or 1,500 people a day, or 2,000 people a day. You're getting 2,000 people to see who you are. And if you get enough attention, then the money's just gonna roll in, right? That's where a lot of people really do struggle, right? Personally, I think going from $0 to $10,000 per month is just solving step 3, which is how do you get as much attention as possible by being strategic with what you're saying in your cold emails. You're not just blasting a million cold emails saying the most random thing. You want to be very strategic and targeted with what you're actually saying. And that's how you solve the attention problem and the traffic problem. Now, step 4 is, let's say you're sending 1,500 cold emails a day that are well-crafted, that are strategic, that are relevant, and hitting on the pain points that actually draw interest from the people you're cold emailing. The next question is, how do you actually warm up leads? And what I mean by warming up leads is, how do you build trust with people who just don't know you or who don't trust you? Because again, with a cold email, you're not writing a paragraph. You're writing maybe 3 or 4 sentences max. So there's a limit to what you're really able to say. And by sending those 4 lines, people will be interested, but they don't trust you. Just because they're interested doesn't mean they're ready to buy from you right then and there, because they don't trust you. They don't know who you are. As far as they know, you're just another online internet scammer, all of this other stuff. So there's a very specific way that you want to warm up these people and get them to, number 1, understand what you do, which is cold emails, believe that you are the best person to helping them book sales calls by using cold emails. And you want to leverage something called a video sales letter. It's essentially a sales letter that's in video format. It's a 10 to 40 minute video that you film once, and essentially inside that video you're breaking down your process on how you can help your clients get a specific result. In this case, it'll be cold emails, right? How you are using cold emails to help them book sales calls, which translates to help them make more money. That's a video sales letter. Step 5 is, obviously just jumping onto the sales call and selling your service, right? So this is how you jump onto the sales call, have those, have that conversation, ask some quality questions, and basically at the end of the sales call, how do you close those sales calls in an efficient way where, even if you don't have any sales experience, you've never taken sales calls before, there's a very strategic way that you want to navigate those sales conversations. And if you're doing that correctly, you're going to close 2 in 10 people, 3 in 10 people pretty consistently, right? So if you're getting 10 people onto your calendar by setting up these sales calls, you can expect to close 2 or 3 of these clients. And as a result, you're probably going to be making somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 per month. So that's kind of the 5 steps to getting to $10,000 per month. Pretty simple so far, right? There's only 5 steps here. The next step is I actually want to break down the math because obviously each of these 5 steps, it sounds cool, but I want to share the math because a lot of people think that getting to $10,000 per month inside their online business with their own lead generation agency is this big daunting thing, which it is, right? Because $10,000 is a lot of money, but it's actually way easier to get to $10,000 per month than you might actually think. And here's what I mean, right? Because here's kind of a breakdown behind $10,000 per month. We established that one single client, you'd be making somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a month, right? Through the setup fees, through the pay-per-call fee. So what that means is if you're making, let's say, $2,500 a month on average between 2 and 3K, you only need 4 clients to get to $10,000 per month. So that's a really big thing because there's a lot of other business models out there where in order to actually get to $10,000 per month, you got to work with a bunch of people. You got to work with 10 different customers or clients. You got to, you're selling something for $50. You got to sell that 1,000 times, whatever the case is, right? But with this business model, when you're selling lead generation services, you really only need 3 to 5 clients in order to get to $10,000 per month because each client is paying you several $1,000s. So the math checks out and it becomes easy when you think about it like this, where you only need 4 clients to get to $10,000 per month. It's not that hard. You don't need 20 clients, right? So that's the math to get to $10,000 per month. 4 clients that are paying you $2,500. So how do you actually get those clients? Because that's the next part. And I actually want to break that down. Because again, we're using cold emails in our own business first to get to 10K per month. We're using cold emails. We're picking a niche and we're sending these people a cold emails. Let's say we are working with marketing agencies. We established a niche, which is step 1 over here, step 2 over here. What we're doing in step 3 is we're using cold emails to reach out to these marketing agencies, tell them that we can help them solve a very specific problem. We can help them book sales calls, whatever the case is, and we're sending cold emails to them. So as you can see, I launched this campaign back in September, so a couple months ago, and I emailed close to 5,000 people, right? 4,800 people, but we're just gonna round that to 5,000 for the sake of math. So I emailed 5,000 leads. These are 5,000 people who now know who I am. So I'm generating eyeballs. I got 5,000 eyeballs onto my business, onto who I am, onto what I sell, and onto how I can help them. That's 5,000 leads, right? And of these 5,000 people, I got, almost 1,000 replies. But obviously, when you get this many replies, a large chunk of these people are going to be people telling you they're not interested, they don't want to hear back, they are out of office, the timing's not right, whatever, this and that, right? But of these 1,000 replies, I got 67 people who were positive, right? They showed positive intent. They wanted to learn more. They wanted to see my video sales letter. They wanted to see how I can help them specifically. These are people with intent, right? Because if they're obviously replying back, being like, hey, I'm interested, I'd love to learn more, there's some form of intent there and they actually need your help, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be saying that. They'll just either ignore your email or tell you they're not interested. So I got 67 people who are interested. And because they already have this intent, it's pretty easy to convert them into sales calls because they already have that intent. They literally said it themselves. They replied back to you saying they're interested in learning more. And of these 67 people, I was able to get roughly half of these people onto a sales call, right? Obviously, 50% is a very generic number. Your KPI that you want to look at, your key performance indicator, is converting roughly 40 to 60% of people who are positive, right? Because again, they're super high intent already since they already expressed that they're interested in learning more. So I got 50% of these people. So what that meant is by sending 5,000 emails, getting 67 replies, I was able to book 33 sales calls. And back to what I mentioned earlier, where even if you never sold a single thing in your life, or you think you suck at sales, the average person is still able to close somewhere between 2 and 10 sales calls or 3 and 10. So let's call it 25%. So after booking these 33 sales calls, if you're closing at 25%, that means you have 8 clients. And back to that example earlier, where you really only need, let's say, 4 clients to get to $2,500 a month, by sending these 5,000 cold emails and getting these 33 sales calls, I'm able to get 8 clients, which is roughly $20,000 per month. Now, obviously, the specific number might be a little bit different because some people, they're not necessarily making $2,500 a month. They might be making $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month. Some even more, right? $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. My best clients pay me $5,000 to $6,000 a month, right? But with this example, hopefully you can start to see that the math actually works in your favor. And if you're able to craft a really good cold email campaign, right, where it actually generates traffic, the right type of eyeballs onto your business, and you're able to convert these people the right way to build trust with these people, they'll be happy to jump on a sales call. And on those sales call, you don't even have to use slimy tactics or high pressure strategies. You just have to have a normal, regular conversation, learn more about their business, see if you can actually help them, and you'll be able to close 2 in 10 people or 3 in 10 people, right? And that's kind of the math, where by closing these 8 clients, let's assume you're charging a $2,000 setup fee just upfront, so not even like the cost per book call. You're literally making $16,000 in just upfront setup fees alone. And again, that doesn't even include the $250 cost per lead that you be charging your client once you're getting them great results, right? But hopefully you can see with this math how it's actually pretty simple and very logical, really. It's just math in order to get to $10,000 per month. Now, obviously for me, I run my lead generation agency full time, so I'm able to spend more time. This is what I do full time, right? I don't have a job on the side or whatever, right? So I'm sending at this volume and I'm getting these type of results where I'm working with 8 clients. If you're watching this video and you have other responsibilities in your life, maybe you're in school, so university or college. When I first started my business, I was in college as well. Or you are working a 9 to 5, or you have other responsibilities because you have kids, you have a family. You don't have to use these numbers. Just plug in the numbers that you will feel good with, right? You could send way less cold emails. You could send 2,500 leads, and this will cut your number in half, and you'll be at 4 clients making 10K, right? And one of the things about this is because we're using cold emails, again, right? You're not manually sending cold emails one by one. You're automating the system using a tool like smartlead.ai. This is actually a panel from smartlead.ai. You're not manually sending these cold emails. All I do on a day-to-day basis is reply back to people. So reply back to these 67 replies and take these sales calls, these 33 sales calls. And if you don't have as much time as I do, because again, I do this full time, play with your numbers, right? You're able to do this. Anyone is able to spend 1 to 2 hours a day on this, and they'll be able to make $5,000 to $10,000 per month by starting a lead generation agency, because it really doesn't take that much time. The only thing you need to do is, aside from setting all this up front, which does take some time, truthfully, once you have all that set up, which is more of a one-time setup thing, your day-to-day is just replying back to people and booking them onto sales calls, which are taking them, right? And these are all activities that don't take that much time. So here's kind of the math. In order to get to $10,000 per month, hopefully at this point in the video, you can start to see that it's actually pretty simple, and it's not this big daunting thing that will take you 2 years to actually get to. Most people, if they're leveraging this system the right way, they're focusing on the right aspects, and they're writing the right cold emails, they're building the video sales letters the right way, you should be able to get to $10,000 per month within the next 3 to 6 months. Really, really easily, right? Obviously, everyone starts at a different skill level, different experiences, but there's been people that I've worked with who went from 0 to $10,000 per month in less than 90 days, right? I did it in around 60-ish days, right? Here is Daniel, who I started working with him to build out this entire system, start his own lead generation agency. You could pause this video and read through some of these screenshots, but he was able to sign 3 or 4 clients. I think he has 4 clients, 2 clients here, another 2 clients here. And I asked him, how much money has he made? And he said he's up to 3 clients, so 3 clients actually, and he made $13,000 from just setup fees alone. And that doesn't even include the book cost that he's gonna book for his 3 clients, right? I actually did an interview with him on my YouTube channel. You could go and check that out, right? And he was able to do this within his first 60-ish days of starting his own lead generation agency. And again, right, you're not getting rich quick with this model, but it's because each client pays so much money, which is why it's easy to get to a certain revenue number, which in this case is $10,000, because each client is paying you $2,000 to $3,000, right? The math just works, right? We have Spencer, who I started working with around half a year ago, right? He signed his first client for $3,000, no case studies, no testimonials, right? Signed a second client for $4,000 setup, so actually on the larger end, and you can see that this is possible. He's charging $300 per call, right? Another client, $4,000 setup plus $250 per call. Another client for $4,000, right? He's just getting some wins, and as you can see, right, this was dated July, right? His very first win was back in May, and as you can see, in August, he actually sent me this message saying, after invoicing my clients for demos this month, I should be over my first $20,000 month still without hiring a single person. He's still doing this himself, right? Because this isn't complex. And each client doesn't take that much time. And again, right, I actually did an interview with him a few months back. When he hit his first $10,000 month, he made $11,000 in his first 90 days by running his lead generation agency. And obviously he's making $20,000 a month now, right? We have Kevin, another case study, who signed his first client for $3,500, his second client for another $3,000, his third client for $3,000 and $300 per book call. And he literally went from zero to $9,500 in a single week by running his own lead generation agency. And again, it sounds really crazy, but it really isn't that crazy if you're breaking down the math where you understand that one client is paying you $2,000 to $3,000, right? You don't need that many clients in order to hit 10K per month, right? We have Tyler, who's actually running a job. He's doing a 9 to 5 and he wanted to start this on the side. He signed his first client for $2,500, second client for $1,500, third client for another $2,500, and he went from zero to $6,000 a month in his first 30 days by starting his own lead generation agency. And by the way, he still works his job, so he's not even doing this full time. Imagine making $6,000 every single month outside of your 9 to 5, right? We have Brian, who's a really good case study of this, of someone who's doing this full time and how much money you can actually make doing this, right? He signed a client for $3,000, signed 2 clients, making him $7,000. And this was back in September, where, as you can see, even from the screenshot, he made $24,000 in a single month, right? He's going to push hard for $30,000 this month. So I wanted to make this video to really show you that getting to $10,000 per month is actually way easier than you might think, right? It's not this big daunting task. I know $10,000 sound like this big massive number, but really the math works in your favor, especially since every single client is signing and paying you $2,000 to $3,000 every single month. You don't need to work with 50 different clients in order to get to $10,000 per month. So that's what I wanted to share in this video. If you want to work with me to start your own lead generation agency, to go from zero, starting for the first time, towards getting to $10,000 per month within your next 90 days, then the first link in the description below will take you to a page to set up a call, to chat with me, to chat with someone on my team, to see if we can actually help you do that. And if we do think we can help you do that, then we'll work together, we'll get started, and maybe one day in the next video, you will end up as part of these screenshots right here, right? Some of these success stories. And by the way, right, this isn't a course. This is a one-to-one mentorship program. I went from zero to $10,000 in my first 60-ish days of starting my own lead generation agency. So I know exactly what it takes. I walked that path myself. All of these people walk that path as well. I've worked with many people who's been able to do this. So I know what it takes, because you got to focus on the right things. And again, you got to write the right cold emails. You got to be doing these things the right way. You're not just going to randomly blast 1 million cold emails and get to 10K per month, right? So it's a one-on-one mentoring program where I will work with you to help you pick a niche. I will help you write cold emails, so I will write it for you after sending well over 1 million cold emails. I know what works and what doesn't. I will help you build out your VSL script, and I will help you review your sales costs. So by doing all of those things, you will be at $10,000 per month within the next 90 days, as long as you're taking action and actually doing the actual stuff, right? You're not going to just wake up one day and make $10,000, right? That's not reality. You actually got to do the work. But if you're doing things the right way, you're actually executing, and you're spending a couple hours a day, there's no reason why you wouldn't be at $10,000 per month, right? So if that is something you're interested in, then use the first link in the description below, set up a time to chat. If we can help you, then we'll get started right then and there. But that's basically what I wanted to share in today's video. If you like this video, make sure you drop me a like, make sure you drop me a subscribe, share this with a buddy if you think it could be valuable for them, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.